Our fancy rocks are finally ready for the polishing stage. These have been tumbling in the coarse grit for, well, gosh, a couple of months now, and they're as smooth as I'm going to get them. Hopefully we'll get some nice shiny ones in here. As you recall, this is a variety of agates and jaspers and little petrified wood and some opal, other things. Even some self-collected lanite, as I recall. So let me get these started in the vibratory tumbler, and in 8 days we'll take a close look and see how shiny they get. Here are the stones in 220 grit silicon carbide, and they go for 2 days like this. And here are the stones in 600 grit silicon carbide, where once again they go for another 2 days. And here you see the stones in 1500 grit silicon carbide, where once again they go for another 2 days. And this shows the stones in the final phase, the 1 micron aluminum oxide polish. This is the 14,000 grit stuff, the good stuff. This is where all the magic happens. This goes for another 2 days. Well, after 8 days, you can see the polish is finished. I think some of these turned out really nice. A couple of them aren't so great, but hey, that happens. Let's take a closer look at each of these and see what you think. Our first stone to look at is the blue Botswana agate. Ah yes, the blue Botswana, one of my all-time favorites. What do you think? These almost never disappoint. Took a pretty good tumble and shine. As you can see, some of that original host rock just couldn't get ground out. I had to leave some in. Oh well, that's okay. It's still a beautiful rock with some of that great banding right there. Our next stone to see is this blue lace agate. Well, as you can see, the blue lace agate turned out okay. Not a perfect tumble or polish, but I like it. Like the detail. Had to leave in some of that little, well, whatever those imperfections are. But overall, I think it turned out pretty nice. What do you think? The next stone to get tumbled is this big chunk of the Turutella Agate. Overall, this has a pretty nice shine, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with these Turutella Agates. Usually the tumble's not great. There'll be these sections that just don't get smooth. But the parts that are smooth take a great polish, as you can see. Lots of nice detail in there. Next, we have this nice big piece of the Bruno Jasper. This type of jasper is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I've just finished tumbling some more of this in a different video, and I really like the way it takes a shine. Even though I couldn't get rid of all that, whatever that other material is inside there, the burgundy brownish color looks great, which is what I'm calling the Bruno Jasper. I don't know what the rest of this stuff is. Let's just call it character. Now we have this large piece of the Royal Imperial Jasper. I haven't had a whole lot of luck with this Royal Imperial Jasper that I picked up at the rock shop here in Austin, Nature's Treasures. It seems to break pretty easily, so it's very fractured. So as you can see, this large piece eventually turned into these 3 pieces, with these 2 small pieces and then this one decent sized piece. But even this piece still shows fractures. It's pretty, the colors are nice, but not a great tumble because of all those fractures, I'm afraid. Royal Imperial Jasper. Next up, how about this big piece of Porcelain Jasper? I've tried several pieces of this stuff, and I never get a great shine out of it. It's not a bad shine, it's a good looking rock, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have that mirror-like finish that I look for. It's just the way it is with Porcelain Jasper. Apparently it's not quite hard enough to give us that really fine shine. Our next stone is this big piece of the Prairie Agate. Check out how the Prairie Agate turned out. Not a perfect tumble, but it does always seem to take a great shine. I've done several pieces of this. Most of them turn out really nice. I like this one. It has plenty of detail in it. Took a nice shine. There you have it, the Prairie Agate. Next, check out this big chunk of the common plume opal. So the common plume opal broke down quite a bit while it was being tumbled, had a lot of host rock on it. This is all the good stuff that we had left over. Not too interesting, I'm afraid. I don't really see a whole lot of pluminess in this. Maybe a little bit in there. Kind of an interesting rock, but yeah, not my favorite. Common plume opal. Next, one of my favorites, a big piece of the Mozambique Agate. Check out the Mozambique, it turned out pretty nice. It did, of course, break during the tumbling, but in spite of that, it still is a very beautiful stone. Not perfectly tumbled. You can see I left in some of these big divots. I wish this lighting was better so I could show you the fine banding. It's dark, but it's beautiful in there. Just can't quite capture it with the shine and the lighting. Overall, though, I like this one, the Mozambique. Now everybody's favorite, the Mexican Crazy Lace Agate. After all those weeks tumbling, this is ultimately how the Mexican lace turned out. Once again, not a perfect tumble, but boy, it has some beautiful detail in it. I always like how this Mexican Crazy Lace turns out. This one has a lot of color in it, some beautiful detail. Has some sections that don't really take a shine. You can see them right in there, sort of undercut a little bit. But otherwise, it's just a beautiful stone. Lots of amazing detail in it. For our next rock, how about this cool piece of the petrified palm wood? Check out this piece of petrified palm wood. It turned out pretty nice. I love how this stuff tumbles and polishes. It's always so unique. Beautiful. And finally, how about this self-collected piece of Lanite? Well, here you go. This is the last piece. The Lanite. Found near Llano, Texas, of all places. So as you can see, I broke off a piece early on in the tumbling, this piece here, and it did okay. Then the main piece here has lots of the pretty blue quartz crystal in it. That is nice. Not a great shine, not one of those super high polished mirror finishes that I like, but overall okay. I'm not disappointed. I haven't really had much better luck polishing Lanite than this. I've tried it on a cabbing machine. It never really gets super shiny. So this is about as good as I can ever get with this Lanite. I like it a lot though. Pretty stone, self-collected. That always makes it special. Lanite. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching this little video series. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we had a couple of good ones in here and a couple of duds, but that's the way it goes. Appreciate it. I know it took several months to finish this. Hope it was worth it. Be sure and check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.